So yeah, they've been getting hammered recently. It's been happening a lot, and it kind of sucks because the game is fun. It has its issues, it has its problems, but for the most part, the game is a good time. So we just wanted to come in here and talk about Rust a little bit. It's the first game in a while that's an indie game that both of us really enjoy. Gavin more than myself, but I have a lower patience for things now recently. So at any rate, what are the things that you like about the game? What's your favorite part of the game?
Well, I mean, there's obviously a lot of pros and cons, but I have to say that I like the fact that it's able to bring the whole crafting system, like you can build your own houses, to making your own guns, to the survival system, which I think it still needs a little more work, obviously, but, you know, it's still an alpha, early access, so there's not to say whatever I think might be changed is not going to or will be changed.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
So, like, if I think something should be changed, I can't really say right now whether or not it will be. But I think, like, one of the funny things too is I think the main reason they do it is to combat loggers, but they have this thing where you just fall asleep if you log off. So basically, like, if your base gets raided or whatever, like, you can use C4 blow off a wall, you can walk in, there's a dude sleeping there. That just means he's offline. And I think that is a little too far. Because, you know...
And you also say, not only if you're in your base, and to go back a few steps, your base basically, you harvest trees, kind of like Minecraft. You harvest trees, you harvest rocks. You can't harvest all the rocks. There's certain rocks that you can harvest that get you things. Trees, you can harvest all the trees, but you basically start with a wooden base.
Yeah. And
it takes, to do one section of foundation, it takes 80 wood, which is basically at a tree it takes 80 hacks at a tree, and that's not the same tree. You have to go to different trees because obviously one tree runs out. So you have to do 80 hacks on trees. Sometimes you'll find a pile of wood and you get 7 wood at a time or 10 wood at a time, but you still have to hack away at the wood. And then after 80 of those things, you get to make a foundation, and you can make a foundation, a wood foundation, where now you have a base to start your base.
But then you gotta spend wood to get the pillars, to get the walls, to get the door, and God forbid you have a wooden door in that game.
Right, and that's what he means by that, is that you can do, like, you do pillars, and pillars are indestructible. Walls can be blown up by C4, which is acquired in the game. Wooden doors can be hacked through with a hatchet. And it takes about, I think, 90...
200, I think, with
a stone. So you start with a piece of...
You start with a stone, and then... If you follow the tree, then you get the stone hatchet, which is basically a piece of rock with a piece of wood in it.
Right.
So that's your little hacky tool. And then after that, you get the real hatchet, which is a hatchet.
It's a hatchet. You know, everybody knows what a hatchet is.
But then the last one is the pickaxe, which it hits as fast as a stone. It's got the same swing as a stone, which is slow, because the stone hatchet and the regular hatchet are actually pretty fast. Like, you're like, took, took, took. So basically... 2 swings with a regular hatchet equals 1 swing with a stone or pickaxe.
Right.
But the pickaxe does about double damage what the hatchet does.
Or double pick. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So basically, you do all that. You get your wood. You craft it into planks, because that's where you have to go from raw wood to
10
planks.
raw wood for 1 plank.
10 raw wood for 1 plank. 8 planks per foundation. So now we're at 80 wood. So at 80 wood, you craft yourself a base unit, and that's 1 square. From there, you need to put up pillars because it's a wall, so you need to have something to support it. So you have 4 pillars. Pillars are 20 wood each, 20 raw wood each, or 2 planks. And then you have to put up walls, which are 40 wood, or 4 planks each. Or 3, you'd have 3, and then you'd have a doorway, which is also 40 planks. And then you have the option of doing a metal doorway, or you have the option to do a wooden doorway.
Which you get the metal doorway you make from metal fragments, and from metal fragments there's these special kind of rocks. You can't just hit the giant canyon rocks that are on the map,
which are everywhere.
Because that would make sense. So we went with these tiny little rocks. There's these little gray ones and these big gray ones. The big gray ones and the little gray ones, I think, give different quantities. Not sure yet.
No, I think they're the same.
Are they?
I think so.
Okay, so you get 3 things. You get rocks, you get metal ore, and you get sulfur ore. Sulfur ore you can smelt down with charcoal. You get gunpowder. If you use the metal fragments, you smelt those down. I think it's 4 metal fragments per
per ore.
per ore.
Yeah,
Something like that. So basically, you save up, you get 200 of those, you make a steel door, which it can be broken down with a hatchet, I think, but it's like absurdly long.
No, I don't think you do. The hatchet's completely
But basically, the wooden door is 30 wood, not planks, just raw wood, and you can hatch it down with real quick, as you said, 90 hits with the real hatchet. Which, I mean, we had at one point a base that was basically just too long, that had all of our stuff in it, and there's just a wooden door. And it was in the middle of it wasn't really in the middle of a field, it was next to a rock in a valley area, and just people every single 5 minutes during the night, all you just sit there and hear dunk, 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 which is them hatching at the door. We'd kill them, and then 3 minutes later, you'd hit the same exact thing. It's just
and that's pretty much the way a wooden door works. And we've been on a few servers now, so basically, on lower population servers, or not necessarily the server we were on, you could probably get away with a wooden door for a night or two.
Yeah, you could get away. I mean, it's there if you don't have the metal yet.
Right. If you got no choice, and here's the thing: to smelt the metal, you have to have a furnace, and to have a furnace, you have to make that, which is
animal fat, which you need 10 low grade fuel, which is 10 animal fat, 10 cloth. You put those together, you get your 10 low grade fuel. Then you have to have, I think.
So you have to kill an animal. You have to kill
at least
a
one
critter running around.
It's probably definitely more than one. And the problem with that too is the animals are kind of scarce depending on where you are. And then you're hatching at this animal. You can have a bear, a wolf, or God forbid another player come up. And players aren't too happy when they see you having something they don't have.
Or just see you butt-ass naked, which is one of the other funny things of the game. You have a flaccid penis, and you start the game literally butt-ass naked, including genitalia and all.
It must be European because you're uncircumcised.
Yes, exactly. So once you get all that, I think we digress. Once you get all that stuff, you can create yourself a furnace. And from the furnace, you can hack at the rocks that are
Which you need
there.
Rocks to get a furnace anyways. And rocks, if you ever played the game, you jump in, and usually within 5 minutes, somebody's like, where do I get rocks? Where do I get rocks? They're just like, they pop up and they're gone. You got to get them immediately.
Right. And there's certain areas, we're not going to say where, because we found a good, nice area that has rocks. So it's not that big of a deal. But once you get all the rocks, you have to actually create the furnace. And to do that, once you create the furnace, then you have to actually smelt the ore to make yourself a hatchet.
And
or
you
whatever.
can't move the furnace either. So once you put it down, you're going to either have to move the location or live there.
And the first thing you do is you drop wood and the ore in there to make yourself so you can make a steel door. And you click use, and a fire fires up.
Yeah, and it makes it...
And it lights up the entire area.
And at night, too, even if you have a wooden door, the wooden door doesn't show. So, you could be 600 yards and see right through a doorway. The door doesn't show. So you can see right through the doorway, see somebody standing there. Well, you wouldn't see someone standing there, but you'd see a fire, and then there's somebody there.
Right, and if you have a wooden door, that means I'm going to knock this door down, and I'm going to kill whoever's inside. So it's a difficult game. It's
very difficult.
It's incredibly frustrating,
especially if you don't know what you're doing. Like when you first jump in, it just makes it all the more frustrating because the map isn't really readable. I want to say.
Well, and there's no map.
Yeah, there's no map in game. And then on top of that, it's just a weird map where it's the road is like this number. It's not like an 8. It's not like a set. It's just.
It's kind of like a figure 8. It kind of
goes
like
a figure
this.
8, but it's not really.
It's not connected in the middle.
No. So the road can be anywhere. You can spawn anywhere. You gotta kind of pay attention. And the sun does rise east to west.
Right. There is that.
So, but then again, if you jump into a game, you don't know what time of day it is. I mean, and sometimes you look up and the sun's there. And you're like, oh, that helps a lot.
It's directly ahead.
Yeah.
Or directly above.
Like perfectly 12 o'clock. So there's that kind of stuff you have to weigh in too.
So Rust, basically, the review that I would give is it's a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It really is a huge pain in the ass, but it is an addicting pain in the ass. I was on a server earlier and I was saying it's kind of like Lumberjack 2013, Lumberjack Simulator 2013, because you do a lot of... And you do that over and over and over again. And then you get all your stuff, and then you're headed back to your base, and some guy shows up, shoots you in the back of the head, and takes all your stuff.
Yeah, people, there's a lot of people that you run into, they just don't pay attention to you, but then there's always the people there that are like, that guy, I'm gonna kill that guy.
Right.
And of course, you know, if you like, a lot of times what we'll like, I'll do especially is I'll go raiding. There's like areas that have radiation, they have zombies, but they also drop good loot. You know, it's kind of a way in. So what I'll do is I'll run in there, usually naked or wearing radiation armor, which stops the amount of radiation because certain rads, 500 rads, will start killing you slowly. So what I'll do is I'll run in there, you know, grab whatever. And like earlier today, I was running back, and some dude hit me in the back of the head with a hatchet right as I got there. So I just hauled ass back to our base. And you know, they just it was one guy, so it was him chasing me. Became, I think it was four separate guys in the end.
Yeah. No, I think it was 3 guys.
I thought it was 4, because at one point they were all standing out there and we ran out there.
Possibly.
3 or 4 guys, anyways, and it's just 2 of us, and it's kind of frustrating. But thankfully, they weren't very good.
Right. So, what's your favorite part of the game?
I think the fact that you have to craft the items. So, like, defending your house, you can put, like, barricades up or whatever. But it's also, that's kind of the least favorite part at the same time.
See, and that's my favorite part of the game. And here's where we differentiate. Because I don't like to run and go kill things.
Yeah, that's your thing. What we usually end up doing is he does
the crafting
base
stuff.
crafting, and I'll worry about weapons and that kind of stuff.
And I think that works out perfectly for us because I don't want to do that stuff. Like, I would rather gather resources nearby, you know, make the planks and then make them into walls and then build the base up. And all the while, he wants to have a pistol and run around in the rad zones and shoot people and that kind of stuff. Which I think makes a good team, because if everyone wants to be out hunting or everyone wants to be at home collecting stuff,
you end up with one if not, and then you have nothing.
it doesn't really work. So I think that's a good team that we have going on here. The DDoS attacks have been happening for a while now. I thought they had it fixed. They actually thought they had it fixed. We joined a server earlier today, and we started crafting a base, and Gavin had to go to work. So I was at probably, 2 hours we've been working on it?
I think that's about when you texted me, yeah. No, it was about 3 hours because I've been here for a couple hours. We played together.
Yeah, so we had 2 or 3 hours. We've been working on a base. We found ourselves a location. Oh, and here's the other thing that's kind of cool. If someone else has a base and they put a wood door in their base, you can break the door down and put your own door on it.
Which we would suggest be metal.
Right. And at that point, then it's your base now, because the walls don't matter.
The sleeping system, too, is they have a thing called a sleeping bag. Basically, all it is you're saying spawn point is wherever you put the sleeping bag down.
Right.
So,
and you can put multiple sleeping bags down. It's just the last one you placed is the one that you respawn.
If you die, so like let's say if your sleeping bag gets broken, do you revert to the back?
Yes.
You do?
So if you have 5 sleeping bags and you have 5 bases and you place the sleeping bags all over, it goes by the last placed. So
I should have done that.
Yeah, if I place 5 sleeping bags, I get killed and they destroy my sleeping bag, I go back to the next one. It's the same thing, I go back to the next one.
Really?
And so on and so forth.
See, I didn't know that. I haven't done that. That would have helped me a lot.
Yep, absolutely. So that's the whole point of owning multiple sleeping bags. But it still sucks because, you know, pretty much, at least the way we've been playing, at least the way I've been playing, you create a base, and that's kind of your home base. That's your base of operations. That's where you go back to. Most of the people that have been playing for a while suggest that you have multiple bases, and you create a small base, and that's where you hold a bunch of stuff. But you create a massive base, and that's where you don't hold that much stuff, kind of what you're working on now. Because people are going to be more likely to raid a big base over a small base.
But, like one of our buddies said, if you make several levels of fake,
right,
which we kind of messed up with, because we put... So basically, you can build the stairs and all that. We built a row of stairs. So all they did is they broke down, the wall, and they climbed up the stairs. Now, what we've obviously learned from this mistake. So basically, how we've planned our future bases is not to put the stairs in one location. You're going to put them in the middle. So, like, let's say you have a 3x3. You put one in the middle, and you put one over here, then you put one over. So they still, and you put doorways and all that. So if you have C4, which is basically the breaching, and it's OP as hell, whether or not you want to admit it.
Well, it's not really. C4 would blow a wood wall.
It is, but it's too easy to come by.
It's too easy to come by, right?
So like once you get the blueprints, you can do anything.
Yeah.
Because it's all easy to make. But I think they should make it so it's only.
So, and then when he says the blueprints are.
Oh yeah.
You get the blueprints, and you get them off of zombies mainly, or you get them in drops, or you get them from airdrops. And airdrops are basically
a C-130 flies above, and then it drops 1, 2, or 3.
I think 1 is for called in airdrops,
yeah,
and 3 is for the random ones.
Yeah, so there's been several times where they've called in 3. You have grabbed. You got to 1 actually.
I did get to 1. I got. It was kind of funny. We'd just gotten raped. Our base had been raped, and we needed a door. And I was naked.
And they took everything we had.
They took everything we had. They blew the door out. I was actually standing there crafting, and I heard fire in the hole, and I was like, huh? And then just boom, the door blows in. The guy with a shotgun comes in and kills me. You were off doing something, right?
I was getting rocks, and actually I had come back, and I got a clip off into the dude. He was wearing full Kevlar, which is the highest tier.
Right.
So, I mean, like, my 6 rounds or whatever hit the dude didn't really do much.
No, but we were both. Our base was completely raped. So
you know, and at this point, we just started. The only thing that we had going through either of our minds was we got to get our stuff. Yeah. So you know, we've learned that too. Just because somebody raids your base, if you're out, and if there's more than one of them, and they're fully geared, do not bother.
Yeah, just let them rape your base. And the other thing that I found is that if you have like crappy armor, for the most part, the guys that are raiding your base. They've got all the shit that they need, so they're looking for resources. They're looking for, you know, ammo. They're looking for, you know, iron. They're looking for that kind of stuff. Your crappy leather armor and stuff they don't care about. No. So they're gonna leave that alone. Chances are they're just gonna take your resources and run, so they can build more, you know, walls or whatever they want for themselves. So, but at the time we didn't know that. We had a small like 2x1 base. So basically
at the time it was basically a little L.
Yeah.
I had my entrance. He had his entrance. The whole idea is because we build our bases together. We want a way for us both to get in, both get resources.
And that's the other thing in the doors in the game.
Oh
if
yeah,
you place the door, you're the only one that can get in that door.
You can open it and close it, and that's it. Nobody else.
Yeah.
As of now.
So if you have someone that you want to play the game with, they have to create their own door, and that's actually in the list of things to do, like combo locks or whatever. But right now, if we build a base together, which is what we've been doing,
yeah,
we have to have 2 entrances, one for me, one for him, because sometimes, you know, for the most part, we're on the same time, but sometimes we're not.
I'm at work, or
yeah, so we need 2 entrances so that he can get in when he needs to, I can get in when I need to, whatever. So that's the other downfall of that. It is alpha.
Yeah,
but you know, it is what it is. So, so what are your least favorite things about Rust?
Like I said earlier, I think it's all the same thing.
Bearing in mind that it's an alpha.
Yeah, but I think it's still the building at the same time, because they have, you know, the special resources and stuff that if you've been playing the game, so like those people that have played the game for even a week, you know, if we jump into a server, you don't have any of your blueprints or any of your save stuff.
Right.
It's server only.
Right. So it's server based. So if you get a blueprint, if you get an M4 blueprint, which they're everywhere, but if you get an M4 blueprint, if you go to another server, that's it. It's server based, kind of like DayZ, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
DayZ's everything.
It's character based.
Yeah.
So you can go to any server
and have all my gear.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. No, well, Rust is not.
There's the one situation where, for some reason, it was a multiplayer server, actually. One of the reasons I told you not to. Their data wasn't saving at all, so you could have everything spawn in that server, and it would just wipe your entire character.
But for the most part, it's...
Yeah, but other than like situations like that, it's all...
Yeah, see, Rust is server-based, so if you go into a server...
Which I like. Because if it wasn't, you know, I could be like, I know this guy has a base here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over here, log off, log into somebody else's, and then
and do the next thing. Yeah. No, so it's a good game. It's we're actually recording this video because we can't play right? It's basically what it comes down to.
Like, we can't play Rust? We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about Rust. And I don't like to watch, like, I give Gavin a hard time all the time because he's watching somebody play a video game, and I'm like, you own that video game, why don't you just play it? But
depends, sometimes I don't.
I've been finding myself watching Rust videos since I can't play Rust, and that's unusual for me. I think it's kind of a combination of DayZ and Minecraft.
That's the best way to describe it, really.
And I like the building things and the construction and the mining resources and the armor construction, all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's like I was saying. My least favorite is your phone is going crazy.
Yeah,
but my least favorite is the fact that, you know, if I join a server, I have nothing, but I can totally be raped by a guy that has 600 C4 just laying around.
Right. And that's something.
And that's extremely frustrating.
A lot of people are complaining about that as well. They're saying C4 is too easy to come by. I agree.
Which I don't think it's too easy to come by. I think it's too easy to make. Because basically, the things drop. I think we totally went off topic of what we were talking about originally.
Right,
but the things drop. So they drop from the plane. You run up, and you can either get, you know, the most common is they have the bolt action rifle. Apparently, that's in the drops. But they have explosive, which is used to make C4. You can get the C4 blueprints pretty much anywhere, but they have explosive blueprints. And explosive is cheap to make, you know, at least from what it says in the wiki.
Yeah, it's
flare and gunpowder.
Yeah, but you have to have the explosive blueprint.
But that's what I'm saying, is once you get the explosive blueprint, it's easy to make. The satchel charge itself is easy to make. Everything's become super easy to make, and I think it's too easy to make. I think what they should do is eradicate the explosive blueprint. I think the explosive in the game is a good idea. Get rid of the blueprint altogether. Like, no research kits, no recycle, none of that. Just blueprint.
And when he says research kit, basically you can get a research kit, and if you have a research kit, paper, and a workbench, which you craft the workbench, it's for your home. You can take a research kit and a piece of paper, and any item you have that's craftable, you drop the research kit on that, and now you have the blueprint to craft that item.
Yeah. So I think what they should do is get rid of the... It's like, I understand the satchel charge, because then you can make satchel charge super rare drops, and then explosive even rarer than it is.
Right.
But I think maybe even if you kept it where it is without the fact that you can make it because it's like a flare and gunpowder or something like that.
Yeah, it's fairly easy. I mean, I saw somebody talking earlier today, and they were like, "No, it takes 20 minutes to gather all the things to get one explosive charge." But
that's what they say. But I mean,
I built a base. I built a fairly nice base in an hour, 20 minutes or an hour. I mean, it's not like 20 minutes playing a game is not ridiculous. What you need.
Yeah, but if you have the blueprint for the explosive, you raid somebody, you can get that ingredients back.
Right.
And you can just keep doing it. And I think that's the annoying part. I think it's just the fact that you can make the explosive.
No, and it's a lot of there's a lot of people that are complaining that it's too easy to raid bases. The people that are raiding bases are like, screw you guys, but realistically,
it is. I think it is.
I think that and we're talking about servers that have 200 people. So imagine you have 200 people on a server. I'm okay if I'm running around and some guy in Kevlar blasts me in the ass. Okay, fine. But if I'm logged off the game because, we have jobs, normal people work, and they have family they need to spend time with and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's not like, and I'm sure most of those people are either people that don't have jobs at the moment, or they just have the opportunity to waste the amount of hours they do.
Right.
Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
Yeah, it's just like, the fact of the matter is for the people that are trying to, make a living on top of it all, but you still want to play the game, it's just extremely frustrating to have to start over every single day.
Right, and it's not like... Literally on one server, a guy logged in and was like, I was just woke up and my stuff isn't blown up. I still have all my stuff, and that really is the way you feel. Like we logged on. We have a fairly good base on a massive server,
which we keep all the doors closed now. There's like 100 doors probably.
Yeah, we've made doors on every single corner, and you have to go through ridiculous amounts, and different levels have different doors. It takes us
5 minutes just to get out or in.
So, but that server, and even that got raided fairly recently.
That's the one I was talking about with the ladder. Because what we did is, this is the stairway, all right here. All they had to do was blow up here, and they figured, this stuff's going to be at the top. So they just ran to the top and raided it.
Right, but they didn't get... Well, they blew out the wall.
They took out the Kevlar.
Right, they blew out the wall. Which is the other thing. If you can get a metal door...
What's the point of having a metal door?
What's the point of having a metal door? Because the wooden wall is going to get blown away the first
I get it protects it from hatchets, like in metal versus wooden, which I can totally understand.
Right, but I think wooden walls take less to blow up than metal doors or something.
Which is silly. I mean, I get it, but as aspect to the game, the only way to get metal walls is you have to have a metal foundation with metal pillars. You have to find all this stuff doing this, blah 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 blah.
Right.
It's so much harder than it is just to find C4.
Right. And if you know what, here's what I think: if you can have the C4 as readily available as it is, then make the metal walls and metal foundations and
like
all that
a spawn thing.
the same. Yeah, like if you start, you can have all the metal stuff. So it's like you have the wood option if that's all you got, but if you have enough metal, you can also craft the metal.
The problem there is too is how do you get rid of your wood walls?
Well, you can't, but I'm saying you create a base with all the wood stuff,
and then,
you make another base with all the metal stuff.
Yeah.
Because right now, as it stands, you have to actually research all the metal walls and metal.
Which doing that in itself is hard enough because you can only get those from those drops that we were talking about, the airplane drops. Right,
which is the only way you can get explosives. So I don't know. At any rate, it is a great game. We're actually working on our own server. I bought a server this evening because I was tired of all the BS. And then we're dealing with, as we spoke of before, lots of DDoS attacks and all that kind of stuff. So regardless of the fact, there will be a server up soon. We will be the admins.
And we're going to be strict as long with the rules. I mean, it's not going to be one of the, you killed us, you're banned. No, it's going to be more like we don't want to hear any kind of racial slurs because, I mean, that's like playing on the public service.
Oh, it's the worst.
We play, and there's like a large group of Koreans that played on the server. And all you hear is like in the chat, like it's like Korea, blah. It's just like we don't want to. We don't like the fact that they're just pointing fingers at one group of people.
Well, not only that, but you shouldn't be
for no reason. They're like, because right before the DDoS, when they were still DDoSing, when the servers were getting really loud,
they're like, it's the
Koreans' fault. It's the Koreans' fault.
And when he says that, there were lots of very, very racist terms thrown around.
Yeah, it wasn't just like it's the Korean. It was very targeted.
Right. Well, it was targeted, and it was also just a bunch of
idiots.
The internet. It was the internet, unbridled. So
just like no racial slurs, because that's not you play a gaming community. You don't.
And not even that. Like I don't want to hear people calling other people retards or F you moron or. Whatever. You know what? We're all here to have fun. We're here to have a good time. I'm an older person, so I don't really care about that stuff because chances are it's by some 12-year-old and he doesn't know any better. But if I'm running a server, it's going to be different, and that's not going to be allowed because there are people, there's people my age playing the game. There are people that have jobs and responsibilities, and they also want to have a good time and have fun. And maybe they want to do some raiding. And I'm not saying raiding is bad. Raiding is
isn't
good.
Bad.
It's part of the game.
Yeah, no. See, there's at no point are either of us against the raiding. The raiding concept is part of the game. We're just saying that one aspect of it, I think, is too open, too easy.
Yeah.
So the raiding is fine. It's just the fact that the way people treat each other during the raiding or while they're doing it or anything like that, and it's just stupid.
Yeah, for example, I got raided on a server earlier, and I had like a top floor, and I popped up, and the guy shot me in the face, and like a moron, I just ducked down, and he actually crafted a couple things so he could jump up on there, and I'm crouched down like this. I hear doom 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 across the wood, and I'm like, what the? And it's the guy's like, blam. And he took all my stuff except for my armor and my hatchet and the stuff that he didn't need. And I actually said in chat, hey, dude, I appreciate you leaving my armor and stuff because, it's cool. I get that's part of the game. Take what you need. Don't take,
everything.
Yeah, or, I'm not saying you can't take everything.
No,
but just like there's a respect there. Like, I got you. You lost. I'm going to take what I need for me, and I'm going to leave you with what you need for you to rebuild what I took.
Yeah, but at one point it's like stealing 1,000 charcoal, which has one use in gunpowder.
Yeah.
And charcoal is like one of the easiest things to come by ever.
Right, anything you burn wood, which, you do for pretty much everything.
Yeah,
so.
and it's like usually...
And that's fine, too.
But I just mean like some of that stuff is just like kind of ridiculous when they steal it.
Right. It is, but you know what? If you need it, take it. If you don't need it,
I don't think.
it.
Yeah, like I don't think the rating's bad in any way, though. Anyways, back to the server rules.
Yes. So that's basically gonna be it. I mean,
no hacking, obviously. Please, Brad,
right.
if you have to say that, just don't even bother.
No hacking. I want to help noobs out. I want to make sure that people that don't know how the game is played, because we've been playing for 7 days, 5 days, whatever we were talking about earlier. And it's frustrating. It's got a big learning curve. So I would like to have a server where we can say, you know, hey, but somebody asks, how do I turn the grass off? You know, how do I cook food? You know, there's not somebody like, oh, you're an effing idiot. You know, I just want to be able to help some noobs out, help them appreciate the game, and you know, that kind of stuff.
One of the funny things too is regarding hackers though is they use Valve anti-cheat, which is basically what happens is they do waves. They're not like, oh, we caught you cheating, you're banned. That's not how they do it. What they do is they get the numbers, they get the names, and then they not only ban them from the servers on Rust, but they ban them from all Valve server-based games, all that kind of stuff. Like, you're just banned across the board. But one of the problems with this is it's passive. It's like, you know, you're collecting the data. When it comes to a lot of community servers, I guess would be the best way to describe it, you have the admins, and 9 times out of 10, the admins are
the police.
Yeah, but they're assholes about it, and you know they feel like they're better than everybody else because they can do this. But we kind of want to just focus on the zero tolerance for basically idiots that are acting like assholes and the hackers, because we understand that it's passive. We are not trying to ban them from everything. We just keeping them away from our server until they are permabanned, because they will be permabanned.
Right, and we just want everybody to have a good time.
We don't want, like, we just want to get rid of that whole negative attitude and the people just not appreciating anything else, you know?
Absolutely. So it's coming soon. Hopefully, my phone was going off. Hopefully, that's some server information.
We will be streaming.
Yeah, we'll be streaming.
We'll try to post videos if we can on the game, which making the videos is kind of hard because, you know, it's not like what's Frankie on PC or whatever. He just walks up to a guy and goes, hey, it's me, and then they just throw him stuff.
Right, which will be better. It'll be more of a realistic view.
You know, you get we have to build from the ground up. We have to work on it, which I think we're not even going to bother streaming or anything like that till after we get the base up. Because unless you guys want to just see some kid die over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you know, that's part of that's part of the game.
It really is, but I don't think that's really fun to watch.
No, I think people like to see Frankie be like, "Oh, I'm Frankie," and they're like, "Here's all my stuff."
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I like the thought of maybe having, you know, some realistic, you know, this is what happens.
Or maybe we start off with a video of us getting killed over and over and over again, and then
we'll see.
At any rate, I'm sure you guys haven't been with us this whole time. We've been rambling on a little bit, but you know what? It's about me and my kid having a good time, so just wanted to record a video and start this up again, and we hope to see you on our server. When we have our server, we'll post it in the link. Anything else you have to say?
No, you pretty much summed it up. Just yeah, keep an eye out. In the description, we'll put. I wonder. I know you can direct connect with IP and Rust. I don't think
you can. Yep.
I think that's the only way to connect though if you're looking for a specific server.
No, you can, well, probably. I think it'll show, our server will show up in the list.
Yeah, if you.
But you can do
so basically,
net.connect.
if it does happen when you connect, it'll just pop up in the history if you like it.
But we'll put a net.connect and with the IP address, and you can direct connect to it. So it's a 100 slot server, regardless. It might be a 200 slot server, depending on my email. If the one server we have isn't working, I'll go with another one because it's actually
right
very
now
reasonably priced.
Which is the one that you got? Multiplay?
Multiplay.
Multiplay, which I personally have heard negative, like I was talking about. Like, they just didn't seem positive, and we kind of want something that we can, you know, at least have that we can control the hackers and stuff like that.
Right, what you can do with that.
Yeah, but not if it's not working.
Well, none of them are working right now.
That's true, but that's what I was saying. That's what I've heard negative about Multiplay. It's just that kind of stuff isn't good with it. But then the other one that we're looking at is HFT, HTB, something like that, which I used in the past before when I had my own DayZ server, and I like them. But you know, we'll see how it plays out and what. But when we do, it'll be in the description.
All right, we'll let you know.
Thanks for watching.
Peace out.